We're rolling on sound. I'm just filling out my water bottle. So give me a sec before I sit down and welcome you to the show. We are rolling on vision as well. And hello. Welcome to the second episode of the Fledge Cast. We're here again, 2 weeks in a row. That's 2 weeks more than the last time we tried this, which is never. We haven't tried this before. Why are we here, do you ask? Well, I like making stuff. Me, I'm Nathan Barry, half of Fledge. Probably less than half, sometimes more than half. Depends on the day and depends on the crew. But I like making stuff, and I like helping other people make stuff and giving them a space to be able to do that. So that's why this exists, this show, the Fledge Cast. I did land on that name because it was the first thing that I said at the start of the last episode. And then I mumbled and rambled through a couple of other different potential names. I didn't like any of them because it was shit. So we went with the first option, which was Fledge Cast. And that's where we are. Thanks for joining us. I've already introduced myself. My name is Nathan Barry. I make stuff. You know that. Let me know where you're listening in from. If you are listening in, though, I do believe that at least in the beginnings of this, I am talking into the void. But this is a space that will grow and one day be looked back upon. So that's the other part of this that I believe is like a time capsule. Charlie, do you want to come inside? I think Charlie wants to come inside. Give me one moment. We're just going to open the door and let Charlie sit with us. Come here. He's being sooky. Okay. Hey, Charlie. Sit down. Sit down. Good boy. You sitting here is better than you tapping on the door. I hope you're warmed up because we've got a big run today, which is going to be really fun. What are we going to talk about today, Charlie? Get that sleep out of your eyes first. It's been a big week. Yeah, lots happened since I spoke to you last. Can you sit down? Just chill. This is Charlie. You may know him, you may not. Hey, keep it respectful, okay? We're on the air. Charlie and I are going to travel around the country together helping people make music. He's already ready. You're a good boy, Charlie. Okay. So what have we been up to? The Golden Hour gig. That was really fun. Can you please just chill? I regret letting you inside. The Golden Hour gig. They did their single launch at Shot Kickers, which I'd never been there before. And the sound in that venue is top notch. I've never met a group of people so adamant about making it sound good and making the band feel comfortable, which is such a rarity in this music industry. Sound guys, using that term loosely, have this stigma of just being grumpy old farts that can't be fucked. And this group of people were not that at all. Even the bartenders were talking about how they're trained, or they're all trained up in some regard, or at least interested in some way about sound. And it's a collective effort to make things sound really good, which the band really felt. Nagomi Imogen was talking about that to me and to other people, that it was just really well done. We appreciate good sound people, good sound techs. Hello, Stevie. Welcome, Stevie, to the pod as well. If you can see her, I know you can't hear her. She's going to drink some water off the table. That's fantastic. Golden Hour played really well. Obviously, they always do. I think I'm like the number one ticket holder at this point, honestly. Can you stop standing on the laptop, please, bro? Fuck's sake. Are you trying to fucking write a book or something over here? Motherfucker. Yeah, they played really well. It was a good vibe. I particularly enjoy. It's honestly, it's hard for me to talk about them sometimes because I've seen them so many times now. But they always put on such a good show. I sat back in a little booth, and watched the footy while listening and watching. I had a couple of friendos with me, which was really nice. Just to have a little crew. What are you doing, Charlie? Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun night. I was particularly impressed with Grace Robinson, who I've seen perform a number of times in Empress. They're an incredible band. But I've never seen Grace perform by themselves. And wow. Just unbelievable. Excuse me. What do you think you're doing, Charlie? Can you just chill out? We're going to go for a run soon, okay? Yeah, Grace was fantastic. Are we recording? Yeah, we are. That's good to know. Just got to double check these things. She played indie pop rock kind of music. Julia Jacqueline vibes, Camp Cope. I was getting so many different textures from what she was playing, and the band was so good. And I had a really brief conversation with her after she played, and she was really disappointed in herself for the set that she played, and it made me reflect on my set from 2 weeks ago now, that the pressure that we put on ourselves, and this isn't new information, we know this, but the pressure we put on ourselves far exceeds anything that comes from external sources. And the way that we critique ourselves is always going to be more harsh and more intense than the crowd of people watching us, because, yeah, Grace just wasn't happy with their set. And I thought that was ridiculous because it was amazing. The band did so well and Grace did so well. I was just completely swept up in it. And the people that I was sitting with at the gig were locked on and blown away. So the fact that something so powerfully impressive and beautiful was not felt by the performer was just self-critique. It's really, yeah, validating but upsetting at the same time. Validating for me because it's how I felt last week, but I had people, what I thought, pandering to me and trying to make me feel better about my shit performance, but they probably just meant it, you know? And that as bad as it seemed from my perspective on stage, that wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as it felt. So yeah, that was good. But Grace is amazing. If you don't, know their music already, please find them and find Empress. You can find them all through Golden Hour. It's all a big family of beautiful, creative people. Isn't it, Charlie? Yeah. What else do I want to have a little chat about? Oh yeah, going back to the gig. This kind of ties in with what we were just talking about going to Golden Hour. I find it interesting thinking about the different ways people enjoy things. You know, in specifically a gig. I've always preferred being up the back and taking in the whole space and enjoying the people enjoying the thing as much as I'm enjoying the thing, you know, that the whole room can be witnessed and absorbed. And then also, I mean, I'm not that tall. I think I'm 6 foot. I don't actually know, but I've always hated being at the front of things in the chance that I'm blocking someone else's view. So I really like being at the back, you know? And that's fine. If I can sit in a booth, you got me. I'm happy. Not always that I want to sit back and hide or whatever, but there is a bit of that. But it's mostly, I just want to be out of the way, I think. And I want to be able to, get a sense of the whole space. And it's interesting watching other people, how they enjoy things, like the people that are kind of off to the side and those that are just so confident and carefree and want to be right up at the front of the stage. It's amazing. And I think a big part of growth, I don't know, internal growth is accepting which of those people you are. And it's not going to be the same at every gig and every day and every event, but knowing that one isn't better than the other, you know, and allowing others to enjoy things how they want to enjoy things, as long as it isn't, you know, inhibiting someone or being a pain in the ass. I don't know. I look forward to having people on this podcast to talk about these things and get other people's perspectives. But like I said last week, I'm just experimenting. I've never done this before, where I'm sitting down and talking to you and then not editing it, you know, apart from the cut in the middle. I just want to get a better sense of how to hold the airwaves, you know, without ums and ahs and little cuts to make sentences flow better, like I do with my YouTube videos. So thanks for coming on board. I really appreciate it. We made pancakes this morning. Not Charlie and I. Imogen and I made pancakes this morning with lots of protein. They're really yummy. That's interesting. We're going to tweak the recipe a bit. Maybe I'll do a video about that at some point. How long have we been recording for? Oh, it's been 12 minutes. I'll annoy you for another 3, and then we're going on a big run today. So last week we did 10Ks. Today we're doing 15 for some reason. And I might run in these. In fact, I think I will. Yeah, I think that's an okay idea. I've been doing foot strengthening exercises and barefoot training for a little while, just minimally. So I just want to test that because last week's run was really easy. So I want to see how we go with this. How's my mental health? Yeah, okay. Thanks for asking. It's a struggle out here sometimes, but we're doing all right. I feel like I'm in a bit of a stagnant mode, though I know I'm not. I know I'm working towards what I want while also figuring out what I want. But yeah, there's external things that I would like to be different than they are, but that's kind of always the case, I feel. Even when you're at your happiest, there's another thing you could have to make yourself a little bit happier. So I'm trying not to get too caught up in it. When I do the things, then I feel good. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as that as much as I can. But yeah, thanks for asking. I really appreciate it. I was thinking on the drive home about what I would talk about in this episode, and the idea of honesty and being real in the moment while filming and recording these. That as much as I want to be an entertainer and a host and be up all the time when we're engaging in this, I feel if I'm honest and authentic and not showing off, not giving a false sense of hyper happiness when it's just not there, then we're more likely to have a real thing, you know? And when people come into this space, they'll know that they don't have to be any kind of way. They can just be. So I really want to lead by example with this show and just create a welcoming space for everyone to be a part of, because we need those. Yeah. That'll do for now. What a weird... That's not how you segue things. We're gonna learn. We're gonna get better at this. Guys, it's not crazy. You're seeing the beginnings. You're hearing the beginnings. It's cool. Should we do an ad? All right. After the ad, where we will have been on a 15-kilometer run, and we'll see how we feel. But this episode of the Fledge Cast was brought to you by Golden Hour. If you haven't listened to their new single, Chrysalis, go and stream that fucking thing, man. What are you doing? Get out there. Press the buttons, do the things, and listen to the music. Okay? I'm so sorry. No. Their launch show was so good. If you were there, you're amazing. If you weren't, you're amazing too, but just a little bit less amazing in that one specific way. You can find the song everywhere and anywhere, except in Charlie's ears. They're not in there. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. I'm not really going to look that deeply. How did I end the ad last time? I think I'm thinking too much about how I'm going to edit this. That's something I want to get out of the loop of as well, is thinking about how to edit. I want to treat this like I'm live on air. Anyway, I'll be back in like 2 hours, probably more. You're so needy, Charlie. Oh my God. I'll be back in like 2 hours and we'll talk about some other stuff. And then I'll get out of your hair, okay? Because we can't just sit here all day. We've got other stuff to do. So I'll see you soon. I feel delirious. Far out. That that extra 5Ks made a big difference. Yeah. But we did it. We ran 15 kilometers. I ran 15 kilometers. We ran. Charlie came too, which I'm not going to get him to do that again because I think that was definitely a bit much. Let's give you a quick rundown. Just tell you how long it took me. 1 hour, 39 minutes to run 15 kilometers. And I did it in socks and sandals. Bit different to last week where I came back from the run, had a coffee, and my energy was pew. I am whoa. I just want to go to sleep. I'm craving carbs so much. I want to eat a whole fucking bowl of raw pasta. Not really though. Anyway, wow. That was fun. We went for a beautiful, beautiful run up into the hills. I've done that lap once before in my life, the first time I ran 10Ks. So it was nice to do that again and then add on an extra 5. But holy shit. All right, I'm not going to talk about running anymore. You get a little bit every now and then in some episodes. But that's it for this one. What are we working on? Well, let's see. So Imogen and I had a Fledge meeting the other day, which was the first ever Fledge meeting. I made an agenda, took minutes, set goals for her and goals for me, instead of just, saying, oh, we got to do this, and then not setting deadlines for things. We set just a couple of goals for each other before the next meeting. So it wasn't super exciting stuff that we set as far as the goals. It was a bunch of admin behind the scenes stuff that you don't need to worry about. But we did book in a production session for Nagomi, which is really exciting because she's working on some incredible stuff that you deserve to have. And it deserves to exist outside the confines of, the laptop, So we're making a real effort to push more Nagomi things. Also making short form content, which I guess we just have to if we want to find our people, because that's how we do it now. I struggle with that. I think I might have mentioned that last week, but I think it's something we have to do. Because we're doing more and more stuff on the ground in the real world and making connections, out in public so that, we're making real life connections from gigs and stuff and things that we're doing out in the real world. But to find a greater audience that isn't just other creatives on our plane or whatever, we need to make this stuff that reaches out to them. So with that in mind, we were trying to come up with some ideas of how we could sustainably do that without it taking too much time, having to put too much effort into it. And, we want it to be a nourishing thing for ourselves and the audience rather than a draining thing for us, basically, because that would fucking suck. And it's just, I don't know, this whole internet thing is really, I'm not sold on it, I don't know. But here I am doing this though, so the duality, hey. Anyway, what else are we working on? Okay. Told you what we're working on. Is there anything else? So we're working on making some short form. Parties. I might have mentioned last week that we've got 2 leads already. Ellie's working on a party, potentially an ongoing thing at a venue, and I have been in contact with someone who wants to do an art show, which is freaking cool. So those things all churn away in the background. I've got to have a meeting with Ellie about them this week coming, so that's very exciting. And really, that's the main crux of what we're working on. Working on building the van as well, so that we can have a mobile studio for, podcasting, filming, recording music, whatever. It will become whatever it becomes. But that's where we're at the moment. We're building. Lots of things are in the beginnings, There's other things that are coming back into life, like the idea of releasing music and finishing stuff that's been sitting there for a long time. And then there's the newness of, the parties and the van and this. Man, I'm flat. I spent the first half being all depresso and then the second half all physically drained. I promise this will get better. You probably already know that because you jumped in maybe like episode 35, 36 when it's good and I've figured it out. And now you've come back to this just to see where it started. So thanks for coming all the way back. It's cool of you to do that. I don't know why you would. Maybe I asked you to. I probably will. Anyway, I'm going to make this an even shorter one than last week because I just want to go and have a shower and get ready for the footy tonight. I'm just having a chill one because I did lots of socializing last weekend. I am not doing any this weekend because I've got lots of projects I want to work on by myself, which is fun. So I'm going to do that. But before I go, last week I told you I would let you know where I bought my socks. I have no idea. They just appeared one day. They weren't there, and then they were there, and now they're there. Just sinking further and further into the couch. What have I been listening to? Something I want to tell you every now and then. What was I was absolutely rinsing the new song by Rex Orange County yesterday. The Table. So beautiful. When I was talking to Imogen about it this morning, I started crying because of like how much it affected me. That whatever that guitar tuning is like honey, and it's like syrupy and smooth and all encompassing. It feels like a bath of syrup or something, which doesn't sound that great, but it's nice. And then the lyrics about the table and the tree and the storyline of what would it be like imagining people sitting under the tree that then got cut down, made into a table so that we could sit around it and have coffee together. It was just such a beautifully written song, and the bass line that comes in and mimics the guitar line in the second intro bit or whatever, just a 10 out of 10 for me. Perfect song. I really, really like it. That's really gross, man. Can you stop that for a sec? Just wait a couple minutes. That's Stevie, by the way. Just with the ass in my face. So I've been rinsing that song yesterday. I reckon I listened to it like 15, 20 times yesterday just to really, let it sink in. That's all I got for you. Thanks for coming back and having a listen, having a look, having a gaze again. I hope you have a fantastic time, whatever you're doing right now. And make sure to tune in next week because I will be telling you all about that time I went to the movies without any money. All right then. Thank you. Thanks. Goodbye. All right, you can go. You can go now. You don't have to. It's finished. It's finished. It's done. It's finished. Come back next week, and see ya.